If you're a huge chocolate lover, you have to try out this chocolate loaf cake recipe because the cake turns out very moist, decadent, and full of chocolate flavor that I absolutely love. And nothing beats a slice of chocolate cake with a cup of tea or cold milk. So we are going to get started by preheating your oven at 180 degrees Celsius. Next, you're going to line a loaf pan with parchment paper, and also don't forget to spray your pan because you don't want the cake to stick. In your mixing bowl, you're going to add in half a cup of softened butter or margarine. Using your hand mixer, you're going to whip up the margarine until very light and fluffy. Once your margarine is whipped up, you're going to add in 1 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and whip up or cream up the sugar together with the margarine. Once the sugar and margarine are combined, you're going to crack in 2 eggs. Whip up your eggs together with the margarine and sugar for around 3 to 4 minutes until the butter is very light and fluffy. As you're whipping up your eggs into the butter, you're going to add in 1/4 cup of cooking oil and whip up together with the sugar, margarine, and eggs. In between, you're going to scrape your bowl to make sure all the ingredients are getting fully whipped up. This is how your butter should be looking like. So the next thing is to add in your dry ingredients. So I'm going to start off by adding a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla essence. Whip up everything together. Scrape your bowl, and adding in the baking powder and baking soda is going to help the cake rise while baking in the oven, and the vanilla essence is going to add in a very nice aroma to your chocolate cake. So the next step is to sift in my all-purpose flour and cocoa powder. I'm using a 1/3 cup of baking cocoa powder. So I'm going to use a sieve and add in my all-purpose flour and my cocoa powder and sift in the dry ingredients into the bowl. So I'm going to add in half of the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to alternate with some buttermilk. This is homemade buttermilk. I simply added in 1/4 cup of vinegar to fresh milk. Fold in the all-purpose flour into the butter. Make sure to scrape the sides of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl as well, so that all the ingredients are fully combined. Sift in the rest of the dry ingredients into the bowl. Make sure to get everything into the bowl. And then I'm going to add in the rest of my buttermilk and fold in until everything is fully combined. And please don't overmix your butter if you notice that everything is nice and smooth. The buttermilk is going to react with the baking soda, and hence you're going to have a very fluffy and moist chocolate cake. Don't skip on the buttermilk. And the cocoa powder is going to add in a very nice chocolate flavor to our chocolate cake. This is how your butter should be looking like after mixing in all the ingredients until fully combined, and as you can see, it's nice and smooth. So the next step is to transfer my chocolate butter into my prepped up tin. get everything from the bowl. And my oven is ready for my cake. So I'm going to tap the baking tin on my countertop 2 times. This is to remove any excess air bubbles in the batter. Now, we are going to be baking our chocolate loaf cake for 50 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. And to check if the cake is ready, you're going to insert a skewer in the middle of the cake. Once the skewer comes out clean, your cake is ready. And always, don't forget this, always whenever you're adding in butter in your tin, make sure not to add the butter past halfway because the cake might spill while baking in the oven. My chocolate loaf cake is ready and it's looking amazing. So I'm going to let the cake cool in the tin for around 10 minutes before inverting so that the cake can cool further. It has turned out amazing and I can't wait for us to try out this cake. After 10 minutes, my cake has cooled a little bit, so it will be very easy for me to handle the cake so that I can cool it further. So I'm going to tap on my countertop 2 times and then flip the cake on the palm of my hands, and then I'm going to remove the tin, remove the parchment paper and transfer to my cooling rack. As our chocolate cake is completely cooling, I'm going to be showing you a very easy icing sugar frosting that is going to add even more flavor to our cake, because I'm going to be squeezing in some lemons which are going to add in tanginess to the cake, making the cake delicious at every bite. So over here I have 1.5 cups of icing sugar or powdered sugar, and I have 2 lemons which I'm going to be squeezing in intervals until I get the right consistency in my frosting. So I'm going to use the lemon squeezer and squeeze in. This is the consistency I'm going for. It should be light but not too runny. So it's going to flow on my cake and add in a very nice design. Once your cake is completely cooled, you're going to pour in your icing frosting on top and let it flow. Once you're done, you're going to let the icing frosting completely set before slicing into your cake. You can see how the inside is looking like. It's very moist and fluffy. So I'm going to slice myself another slice of my decadent and delicious cake. Check that out. My chocolate loaf cake has turned out amazing. It's dense, it's moist, it's fluffy, it's everything that you want in a good chocolate cake. So this recipe is worth trying. Enjoy the cake with a cup of tea, milk, or even top up with some ice cream, and surely it's going to be very delicious. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be trying out this easy and very fluffy chocolate cake